Welcome to my channel Mintage Mysteries, where every coin has a hidden story. If you love discovering hidden treasures and uncovering coin secrets, you're in the right place. We're on a quest to solve the puzzles behind the world's most fascinating coins. From rare errors to legendary rarities, let's dive into the mysteries of numismatics. The 1989 Jefferson nickel represents a continuation of a numismatic tradition that began over half a century earlier, rooted in both aesthetic design and historical reverence. This 5-cent coin is part of the Jefferson nickel series, which first entered circulation in 1938, replacing the iconic Buffalo nickel. The transition to a new design in the late 1930s was driven by practical concerns regarding the striking quality of the Buffalo nickel and the mint's interest in honoring one of the nation's founding fathers. The United States Mint held a design competition in early 1938 to select a new image for the coin, and the winning submission came from Felix Schlag, a relatively unknown German-American sculptor at the time. Schlag's original concept presented a side profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, paired with a classical view of Monticello, Jefferson's famed Virginia estate, on the reverse. The Mint accepted his design, though the reverse had to be revised to depict a more realistic and architecturally accurate view of Monticello. The final approved version of the design went into full production later that year, and it remained largely unchanged through 2003. Thus, by 1989, the Jefferson nickel had been a staple of American coinage for over 50 years. The obverse of the 1989 Jefferson nickel features a dignified left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. His facial features are finely detailed, capturing a calm but determined expression, with his eyes looking slightly upward and forward. His hair, styled in the 18th century fashion, is pulled back and tied with a ribbon, and the visible folds of his collar and coat lapels hint at the attire typical of a gentleman of Jefferson's era. The inscriptions encircle the design in a well-balanced arrangement. Along the left edge, the national motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed in block letters, following the arc of the coin. To the right of Jefferson's portrait, near the rim, the word "Liberty" appears in a stylized cursive script, followed immediately by the date, 1989. Just beneath Jefferson's bust, the designer's initials, FS, appear subtly, a feature added in 1966 to acknowledge Felix Schlag's contribution more prominently. On the reverse side of the coin, Monticello is presented in a straightforward and symmetrical frontal view. The neoclassical building, inspired by Italian Renaissance architecture, is rendered with attention to its iconic dome, columns, and portico. The structure's lines are clean and clear, though not highly detailed due to the limitations of the small coin canvas. Above the building, the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is curved along the top edge of the coin. Directly below the building, in all capital letters, is the name Monticello, and beneath it, the denomination 5 cents is engraved. Completing the reverse design, the inscription United States of America arcs along the bottom rim. The coin's metallic composition remained unchanged from earlier Jefferson nickels struck since 1946. The 1989 issue consists of a cupronickel alloy, composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This combination gives the coin its distinctive silver-gray coloration and a level of hardness and corrosion resistance suitable for daily use. The coin's core is made of pure copper, surrounded by an outer layer of the copper-nickel alloy bonded to the core through a metallurgical process. The coin measures 21.21 millimeters in diameter and has a thickness of 1.95 millimeters. It has a smooth, plain edge, with no reading or edge lettering. The standard weight of each coin is 5 grams, a specification maintained consistently for over 4 decades at that point. The 1989 Jefferson nickel was produced at 3 different mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Circulating coins from the Philadelphia Mint bear no mint mark, a tradition dating back to earlier decades. Coins minted in Denver can be identified by a small D mint mark located to the right of Monticello on the reverse. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins in 1989, which were struck using specially polished dies on highly prepared planchets, resulting in coins with mirror-like fields and frosted details. These proof specimens bear the S mint mark and were included in annual proof sets intended for collectors, not for general circulation. By the late 1980s, the Jefferson nickel had become a familiar and enduring presence in American commerce. Though its design had remained relatively static, collectors and the general public had grown to associate the coin with both the historical legacy of Thomas Jefferson and the architectural grace of Monticello. The year 1989 itself marked no specific anniversary for the nickel, but its minting that year reflected the continuing stability of U.S. coinage traditions during a time of broader technological and social change in the country. The production levels for the 1989 nickel were high, as is typical for modern circulating coinage, and the coin remains common in pocket change and bankrolls to this day. While it is not rare in circulated condition, uncirculated examples and proof specimens are sought by collectors seeking to complete date and mint mark sets of the series. High-grade examples with sharp details, full steps on Monticello, and clean surfaces can command a premium in the numismatic market. The Jefferson nickel of 1989 represents more than just a monetary unit. It embodies an ongoing narrative of American design, national identity, and historical reverence. Though simple in appearance, its surfaces carry the imprint of a nation's values and its respect for the individuals and ideals that shaped its founding. From its origins in a 1938 design contest to its presence in millions of Americans' hands in 1989, the Jefferson nickel stands as a quiet but enduring symbol of continuity in the evolving story of U.S. coinage. The 1989 Jefferson nickel, while a common coin in most respects, does have certain characteristics and conditions under which it can be considered rare or valuable to collectors. In its standard circulated form, it is generally abundant and holds little more than face value. This is because millions of these coins were produced across multiple U.S. mint facilities in that year. However, the coin's value and rarity are determined not just by its production numbers, but by a combination of factors including mint mark, condition, strike quality, errors, and special finishes. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced the majority of the 1989 Jefferson nickels for circulation. Tens of millions of coins were struck at each location. These coins are easily found in pocket change and bankrolls, and most of them exhibit the typical wear associated with daily commerce. As such, circulated examples, even in decent shape, are generally not of high interest to collectors and are valued at or near their face value. However, coins in uncirculated condition, meaning they were never used in circulation and show no signs of wear, start to command higher premiums, especially in grades of mint state 65 and above. The grading scale for coins, developed by professional numismatic services, ranges from 1 to 70, with mint state 60 to 70 representing uncirculated condition. Within this scale, a mint state 65 or higher coin is expected to have strong eye appeal, minimal contact marks, and a sharp strike. One of the key features that can elevate the value of a 1989 Jefferson nickel is the presence of full steps on the reverse side of the coin, particularly on Monticello's central staircase. This refers to the visibility of 5 or 6 distinct steps on the coin's die, a feature that is often weakly struck or worn. Full steps indicate a well-struck coin from a fresh die, which is less common and therefore more desirable. Collectors actively seek out nickels with full steps, and those that are graded at mint state 66 or 67 with full steps can command significantly higher prices in the collector market. In some cases, these coins may be valued at several tens of dollars or more, depending on demand and condition. In addition to mint state and strike quality, another factor influencing rarity and value is the presence of mint errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin production process. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, and more. While not every error adds significant value, dramatic or visually striking errors can be highly collectible. For the 1989 Jefferson nickel, known errors include off-center strikes and die breaks, though they are not particularly widespread. Error coins are usually evaluated individually, and their value can vary widely based on the nature and severity of the error. Some may be worth only a few dollars, while others with rare and dramatic flaws can sell for much more. Proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint also deserve attention in any discussion of rarity and value. These coins were specially made for collectors and were not intended for general circulation. They were produced using polished dies and planchets, resulting in highly reflective surfaces and sharp details. Each proof coin is struck multiple times to ensure precision. In 1989, proof Jefferson nickels were included in that year's proof sets, which were sold directly by the U.S. Mint. These coins are generally worth more than their circulating counterparts, especially if they are well preserved. High-grade proof coins, especially those graded proof 69 or proof 70 by major grading services, can fetch strong prices from collectors seeking perfection. However, since these coins were carefully packaged and preserved, high-grade examples are not exceedingly rare, though still more valuable than regular strikes. Another aspect that can affect value is toning. Toning refers to the natural discoloration that can occur on a coin's surface due to exposure to air, moisture, or chemicals over time. While some forms of toning are considered damage, others, especially those that produce vibrant or aesthetically pleasing colors, can enhance a coin's desirability. A 1989 Jefferson nickel with attractive rainbow or multicolored toning may be considered rare and could bring a premium at auction, especially if combined with a high grade. In general, the rarity of the 1989 Jefferson nickel is conditional rather than absolute. While the vast majority of these coins are common, a small subset that exhibits exceptional preservation, strong strikes, full steps, unusual toning, or significant mint errors can be much more valuable. These rare instances are often sought by advanced collectors and may appear in coin auctions or be submitted to professional grading services for authentication and certification. Ultimately, while the typical 1989 Jefferson nickel may not be rare, the pursuit of top-quality examples, unusual varieties, and unique errors gives this otherwise ordinary coin a place of continuing interest in the world of numismatics. If you enjoyed today's exploration, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and share this video with fellow collectors. And as always, keep searching for those hidden treasures in your change. You never know when you might stumble upon the next big mystery.